Hey everybody, we're out here today working on a project to combat mosquitoes and other annoying insects in the most natural and best way we can. And to do that, we are installing a bat house. Now, if you want to use the exact same bat house you're going to see me use in this video, then there will be a link to it in the description below where you can go purchase it over on Amazon. I've already completed the first step of this project, which was to dig a 21-inch hole and then add 4 inches of concrete to the bottom of that hole and allow that concrete to set, which has now created a bit of a footer that we're going to place another form of concrete on top of. And I'm actually going to make use of this sleeve that comes with this pole. This is going to allow me that if I ever in the future want to take the pole down, that I can. I don't suspect that I ever will, but since I have the option and it was included as a part of the kit, then why not? One word of caution before you proceed any further, whether you're going to use the sleeve or directly put the pole into the ground, make sure that the flat side faces the direction that you want the bat house to face. That is how it is going to mount onto the pole. So south is in that direction for me. So I have placed the sleeve for the pole facing due south, and now we're going to fill up the rest of this hole with concrete. Since I'm going to form this around something, I'm going to mix up some concrete ahead of time and then pour it around that sleeve that comes with it. Otherwise, I'm pretty sure all I'm going to do is make myself a big mess. You know, we've had bat houses before, and we certainly know we have bats because we can come out here at dusk any time of the year basically and see bats flying around. It's never been too many, and I'm certainly not a bat expert, so I don't know what we're going to get. I don't know. I know what is popular around here, which that's something I should say. We've had bat houses before. One, well, it was actually the same one we tried in 2 different locations. One's up on a telephone pole, and one's up a cedar tree that I had cleared about 20 feet worth of branches off of and put the bat house up there. And we never had bats move into it, even though we still had bats flying around in the yard. So one thing I'm really excited about with this kit is that it comes with this 15-foot pole. So I can put the bat house out here in the sun, in the open, where supposedly it's the best to attract them to the home. So that's another reason we went with this kit, was because it came with the pole and the bat house, and it even came with, the one that we got came with a guide to help us identify our bats and know which ones are prevalent in our area and things like that. So I'm really excited to see how this kit goes. I think before, part of our problem was being up under the tree, being around the power lines. I think we were always high enough, but I think we were not in the open enough, and so it caused problems. So alright, let's go ahead and get this put around our sleeve. Okay, I'm going to tell it to you one last time, because going back after this point is going to be a lot more difficult than making it right now. Make sure your pole or the sleeve is facing the direction you want it. For us, it's going to be straight dead south. So I just used a simple compass, sit right on top of it. We will plumb this in just a second in case you're starting to get worried about that. We got a little bit of time before this sets up to make sure the pole is good and plumb. Or unless you're trying to wonder why I'm wanting to eat this, we want to make sure it's straight up and down. That's what I mean when I say that it's plumb. So, didn't quite mix up enough concrete. I guessed that wrong. But I'm going to go ahead and tamp this down now. so we're getting the air pockets out, making sure concrete's well settled. If you're following along and you're going to get this exact same kit that we bought, you need to know something. The instructions say to get a 80-pound bag of concrete to fill this hole. And it did, filled it perfectly. Look at that. That's an 80-pound bag. That was the 4-foot base down in the bottom there, and everything around. But the problem is, the instructions tell you to go an entire foot. And all this is the exact width of the post hole digger. So if you're going to go an entire foot, you might want to invest in an extra bag of concrete, but I feel that's going to be sufficient. So let's make sure that's plumbed up. Okay, we are going to take the simple approach for this. And what I mean by that is I'm not going to do any kind of support beams or anything like that right now. Now don't just put this pole in and leave it there. You got wet concrete likely seeping through the bottom of your sleeve there. And the whole point of that sleeve is to be able to take this back out later. So right now we're just going to use this to make sure that we're plumb on all 3 sides of this pole. And then we're going to take it out and let the sleeve set into this and not the pole. Okay. Alright, so that's plumb on all 3 sides. I'm going to make sure we're seated well here. We'll give it one more check because I'm sure I'm wiggling it a little too much. Okay, I'm happy. I'm going to take this pole out. You see I got a little concrete seeped into the bottom there, so don't leave that in unless that's your intention. Alright, we'll come back tomorrow. I'm going to let this sit overnight and we will put up the bat house tomorrow. The first thing we're going to do today is attach this bracket onto the bat house. Now this bracket is triangular for the shape of the pole, and also has a pre-drilled hole that goes onto the snap clip that holds it up onto the pole. So to do this, the instructions say there are pre-drilled holes. There are not, at least not on mine. I think that's probably because this kit is sold with a variety of things. They have a bat house, a martin house, and things like that. So probably just because this is the bat house that there are no pre-drilled holes. But that works out for us. So what we want to do, we can mount this as high as we want, but I think we need to be careful about not going too low. We want to keep the center of gravity so that this thing is supported by the pole and not swaying in the wind up top. So where I feel comfortable is I'm going to go about 2 lengths of my level here, and I'm using this to try to square everything up. And I'm going to find the center point. And because I don't want to run into problems, there's also no pre-drilled holes in the bracket itself, nor in the wood, so we're going to pre-drill the holes ourselves. So I'm going to put 4 holes. Straight into my bracket like that. And then I'm just going to use these 4 little wood screws that I found out in my shed and attach it. Now to finish off this assembly, we're going to take the skinniest of the poles, and you can see here are the pre-installed clips that we can use for this, and I'm just going to slide this pole into here, and I'm going to leave it right there so it's as high as it can be. So there is our assembly of the bat house to the pole. Now let's get the rest of the poles together. Our concrete has set up well overnight, and so now we're ready to assemble and then extend our poles. But there are a few little details that we want to make sure we get right to begin with, or it's just going to make our life complicated down the road. the first thing you're going to want to do is take note of where on your pole that has your bat house attached to it, which side has this pre-drilled hole. That way you can know which side a pre-drilled hole needs to be starting at your very first pole. So in our case, with the bat house eventually going up like this, we know that the pre-drilled hole needs to be on this side of our sleeve. So with that little detail noted, the rest is fairly simple. We want to start with the largest and work our way down. To do this, they do recommend that you begin by stuffing the bottom of your largest hole with plastic shopping bags to act as an absorber. Remember, this pole is designed to be able to come down. So what they're trying to do here is make sure that if you do take your poles down, that when they hit the bottom, they're not slamming into your concrete pad. So with the shopping bags in as a shock absorber, we're going to make sure that our pre-drilled hole gets put onto this side, and we'll put down our first pole. Then again, making sure our pre-drilled hole with the red mark goes on the same side, we'll put in the next one. And again, one more time, red marking, pre-drilled hole on this side. And last but not least, the top pole with the bat house. There we are. So now what we need to do is extend the poles and get our bat house up to the height where the bats are actually going to use it. So to do this, we work in reverse order now. We go from the smallest down to the largest, and we use these little keys that came with everything. So bring our pole up. Oh, when we hit that red mark, if you see that red mark, you know you missed your hole. So you come back down, and there it is. And just wiggle that key in there and move up to the next one. There was my red mark. There's my hole. And one more. One's a lot closer down. There we go. So having just done that, it's probably worth noting that if you can lift a bag of chicken feed on your own, then you've got this whoop, no problem. But if toting around sacks of feed is not something that you're up to, then you might want to have somebody out here to help you. One person to hold the pole that has all the weight on it with the bat house at the top, and then you to maneuver everything around and put the pin in. I was able to do it on my own, but you might want to have somebody standing by just in case. Well, there you are. There's our bat house, 15 feet up in the air, and I'm excited to see how long it takes for us to actually get bats to move in. I've heard it could be as quick as tonight or as many as a few months down the road. I told you we've had bat houses before. Previously, we put them on that telephone pole over there, and we also had them on that cedar tree that you can see has about 20 feet worth of limbs cleared out from it. Neither time were we successful in attracting bats. So we hope that having this pole out here in the wide open with what is about 75 feet of perfectly clear opening straight to the south, and then probably there's a power line there, and then beyond that another 50 feet worth of clearing. So we hope that that will be enough to attract the bats to this location. Be sure to come back and check this video. If we have had bats come out of here, I will leave a link in the description for a video of us showing that bats have moved into our bat house. So that's how we're doing it. This is our natural, chemical-free no electricity, no power way of combating mosquitoes. Let me know what you all think. Tell me if you have a bat house, if you have noticed a dramatic difference in the amount of mosquito population in your area by putting a bat house on your property, and what your general overall experience with bats on your property has been. Thank you all so much for watching. If it's your first time, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button up in the corner so that you can be notified when we put out a new video. Thank you again for watching. We'll see you next time.